Hello, my friends. I am here with a very special guest for you today. My friend and colleague, Dr. Tanya English, is here with us. Tanya has been working for over 30 years in the field of healing, first as a massage therapist, then as a chiropractor and energy healer. And she is here to help us talk about the area of grief. If you have experienced a loss, if you've lost somebody this year, or even years ago, and you feel like it's still affecting you, or maybe it's just really any kind of loss. If you're, I know a lot of the women who I work with in this group experiencing loss of a relationship, moving on, or loss of a job or a home. It could, I know you help people on with a lot of different situations. Just be able to move through grief with greater ease and grace, and to find the deeper gifts in the healing. And I'll just tell people another thing about Dr. Tanya. She's actually also an accomplished blues singer. And after having experienced her own pregnancy loss a long time ago, she found a profound healing experience through this music, through the blues music, and went on then to practice chiropractic and energy healing for the next 20 years. Has really been helping people be able to move through tragedy and deal with loss in all different ways, shapes, and forms, and find the deeper healing and the deeper blessings in these losses. So thank you so much, Tanya, for joining us
Hey,
today.
you're welcome. It's great to be here, and thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So can you tell us a little bit about how do people know that this grief is still impacting them, still affecting them?
Well, grief is something that takes. Sometimes people think it takes a really long time to get over something, and they
Mhm.
say time heals all wounds, and I would say that's not really true. Time doesn't heal those wounds. What heals the wounds is actually going in and finding the good that can come out of those wounds. Because I know that people don't believe this, but it's true. Every dark cloud does have a silver lining, but you got to go look for it. You have
Mhm.
you have to actively seek it out. Because if you're seeking out what can I get from this experience? What's there for me? And most people, the first thing they think of, and I know it was true for me when my child was stillborn, is like, why did this happen to me? What did I do to deserve this? And it it's not really what we did to deserve it. It's sort of like it's a big deal. And so we better pay attention. So paying attention to what's there for us can lead to amazing epiphanies, just realizations that kind of change your belief system in some ways. And so that you start understanding that there are miracles, that things do happen for us and not to us.
Mhm.
And when you're in a situation like that, like for me, I was in chiropractic college and life and death is happening inside me. I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, so this is a big deal.
Mhm.
Let me see what this is all about because I can't believe that there's a punishment here of some sort because I believe that source is a loving source. The
Mhm.
source energy or God energy is loving. And how loving is that? So you better show me the good because that's what I'm going to go for. I'm going to
Mhm.
go for looking what is good about this. And
Mhm.
when I've talked to other people who have had traumatic losses, dramatic and traumatic, one of the things that they have in common is it builds in them a passion to do something. You'll see this often with people who have lost children to cancer or violence. I just was listening to a woman whose son um, committed gun violence against himself, and what does that bring up for her? Of course, she's missing in the loss of her son, of her child, but it's also about like what can I do to help prevent this in the future, and who do I need to talk to, and how do I need to talk about this, and how can I live with this situation and make it mean something.
Mhm.
So for me and for the people that I work with, it's all about finding the treasure that's in that tragedy. It's
Mhm.
all about going to that deeper place and allowing source energy to come in.
Mhm.
And sometimes the reason why people get stuck in those things is because they have beliefs that aren't serving them. So one of those beliefs might be, I can't be happy because if I'm happy, I'm betraying the person who's gone.
Mhm.
If I'm
Mhm.
happy, it means that that loss didn't happen, and that's not what it means. That's a belief that has been handed down over centuries. And
Mhm.
so, what we do when we're doing the healing part of this work is we go in and clear up those old beliefs that are being held in the body, in the structure of the body. So,
Mhm.
we're actually doing it on spirit, memory, mind, and body on all four of those levels,
Mhm.
so that you can be free of it and actually look at it and see where what it can do for you. And
Mhm.
I'm not meaning in a selfish way, but what can it do for you that you can show up in the world and help others? Because
Mhm.
when you help yourself, then you can better help others.
You know what beautiful work you're doing to help people, Tanya. I have to say, yeah, that's we're taught like, oh, just time is going to heal it, but you're right, it doesn't. It's like we need the support, we need the tools to be able to process our own emotions. That's a lot of the work that I do with my clients as well.
Yeah,
It's like, how do we process those feelings so that they're not continuing to run the show, so to speak? And I love that shift, that mindset shift and perspective too. And totally on board with that. It's just thinking about if you can, have this perspective on life. I know not everybody does, but this is, I believe too, like we have to look at life as it's not happening to me, it's happening for me.
right,
And
right.
what is, like you said, let's find the treasure and the tragedy. What good things can come out of this?
Yeah, and it also starts with us. So
Mhm.
the loss can feel like, I lost my home, I lost my child, I lost my job, I lost, my relationship. Those things are all losses, but they also the universe abhors a vacuum. There's going to be something else to fill that. Wouldn't you rather have it be something that's edifying, that's uplifting, that's enlightening, that's loving, as
Mhm.
opposed to pressing down on you over and over and over again? So a couple of the ways this shows up, that this pattern is going on, is if you get triggered easily and you just start crying uh, at the drop of a hat. Now, there's nothing wrong with crying because crying is cleansing, but it can lead to emotional breakdown. And what we want to do is help people understand and acknowledge, own, and honor their feelings so that they don't have to be ruled by them. In
Mhm.
other words, you can choose if you're going in that direction. And as you're taking care of those negative feelings, and I use air quotes because they're not bad feelings, they're just negative. I want people to understand that you're okay to have a negative feeling. You're a human being, you're going to have them. But how you deal with them is the most important thing, because you
Mhm.
can use a negative emotional trigger and turn it into a positive emotional trigger.
Mhm.
So let's say you have this trigger happen, maybe like you see something that reminds you of the person that's passed, and instead of it becoming this downward spiral, you actually spiral into more and more love,
Wow.
more and more connection with source.
Mm.
And when you're connected with source, I know this is like very spiritual work, but it happens physically. When you're connected with source, things start to change. And
Mhm.
even when you're negative, and you can say, yeah, I'm really negative right now, but I know how to get to positive. And you
Mhm.
can pivot, and the more you practice it, the better you get at it, the faster you get at it,
Mhm.
then it's easy for you to manage those emotions. And actually that's the healing part of it. So
Mhm.
you can what listen, what you seek you're going to find. That's just the way it is. So what are you going to seek? You're going to
Mhm.
seek the direction of love and the direction of happiness and the direction of acceptance? Or are you going to seek the direction of fear? And like you were saying before when we were talking fog, fear, obligation, and guilt. That doesn't make you a better person, by the way. And a lot of people feel that they're not being a good person if they don't feel those things:
Mhm.
fear, obligation, and guilt. That doesn't make you a better person. That makes you more unavailable.
Mhm.
So we want to turn you in the direction of love.
Beautiful, beautiful healing work you're doing. I know it's tough. Those are all tough, tough, tough situations. And, we need support with that. And I love that you work on all these levels with people to do this really deep, beautiful, transformational healing to move from grief, uh,
Mhm.
move out of grief
Yeah,
and
because it can show up as a physical ailment. And I'll
Mhm.
tell you, most people don't know this, but just about everybody that's ever had cancer has had some tragedy in their life that they haven't processed fully.
Mhm.
I'm just saying, these things are not a coincidence. They're all happening in your body. So if somebody tells you, oh, that's not related to this, I'm going to
Mhm.
just say a blanket statement, that's not correct. If it's happening to you, it's related.
Yeah, our mind, our body, our emotions are not separate. Whatever you're
Right.
experiencing emotionally, that's energy, right? It's all energy. It all gets stored in your body. So it's so important that we get the support we need to move through these difficult situations. And I know, Dr. Tanya, you have a workshop coming up that we want to invite you. If you are in a situation where you're experiencing any kind of grief, if you've lost someone you loved, if you're
Mhm.
getting ready to release a relationship and you feel like you're needing some healing around that, this is a really good opportunity. Dr. Tanya, tell us a little bit about your workshop that's coming up.
Yeah, we're doing a 5 simple ways to go from grief to relief masterclass. This one's going to be 90 minutes. And it's an introduction to what the work that we're doing. So there's going to be healing going on during that masterclass. I'm going to show you exactly what to do if you get into a situation so that you can change things quickly. And also demonstrate it to you so that you understand what that connection is between your physical self and your thoughts and your emotions. So you're going to see what that is, and it's going to give you some knowledge and some gravity on how your thoughts are changing your physiology and how quickly that happens. It's
Mhm.
fast. And
Mhm.
so when we're doing the workshop and the masterclass, you can call it either one, it's fine. Um, you're going to get that introduction to those, and you're going to come away with more peace of mind, more tools that you can use to help yourself, and you can share those with others too. So
Mhm.
you can kind of spread this around. We want this healing to go as far as it can. So I'm going
Mhm.
to teach you some things that you can actually teach to others and use yourself, because
Wonderful.
we want this to go further than just you. It all ripples outward, and when you change your perspective and when you change your orientation to something, everybody around you has to change how you now are, because you're different. And
Mhm.
so it allows this to really ripple outward in all directions.
Mhm.
And it's going to be 90 minutes that changes your life.
Beautiful. I know it's like we have our feelings and we have to have our grief, but we don't have to stay stuck in it. We don't have to let it
Mhm.
run our lives. So
There we go.
really grateful that you're doing this healing work with people, Tiny, because it's not easy. And I don't think we're not taught. We're just really not taught. Like, how do you
Well, I'll
process
say
your
this.
feelings,
The
right?
hardest thing about this isn't the work that I do. The hardest thing about this is people saying yes to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That is the hardest step. But when
Mm-hmm.
you start saying yes to yourself, because it's okay for you to move forward, it's okay for you to learn new things, it's okay for you to take care of yourself, it's
Mm-hmm.
encouraged, in fact,
Mm-hmm.
then it's after that it's easy. That's the
Mm-hmm.
hardest part,
Yes. So
just
my
saying yes.
friends, yeah, if this if you're in a situation where you're experiencing any kind of grief, I highly encourage you. I'm going to put a link into the comments if you're interested in registering or getting some more information. That's coming up Sunday, the
Yeah, Sunday the
23rd.
23rd.
Yeah.
We're going to start 11 o'clock Central Time,
Mhm.
and we'll go to 12:30. So,
Yeah.
and then we'll do a little hangout after that too. So if people have questions and they want more, and it is going to be recorded for everyone that registered. We do have a small investment of $25 so that people can like know that they're going to come and they're committed to being there. So
Making a little commitment to yourself to show up and get the support you need if you're dealing with any kind of grief or loss.
yeah,
Thank you so much,
thank
Dr.
you,
Tanya, for sharing
Risa.
beautiful heart and your time with us today and all your amazing healing work that you're offering for people. So definitely click that link if you want to register for more information. Any other last words of wisdom before we let you go?
Just remember that you're going to find what you're seeking. So seek the good stuff.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Dr.
Thank
Tanya.
you, Risa.
Thanks,
Have a great
everybody.
day.
Bye
Okay.
for now.
Bye.